Question 5. Write a quadratic equation having the solution negative square root of 5 and the square root of 5. So for example, have solutions positive negative square root of 7. Have two solutions. And write down the quadratic equation have the two solutions. So first of all, we write x minus square root of 7 and times x minus negative square root of 7 and let equal 0. Because if we let this equal 0, x equal positive square root of 7. If we let this equal second factor equal 0, the solution is negative square root of 7. So this equation have the two solutions. And then we multiply out. So this one is x minus square root of 7 times x plus negative plus square root of 7 equals 0. And then use the difference of square formula. A plus b times a minus b equals first term square minus second term square. Or you can use FOIL. X times x is x squared. Outer term product, inner term product combined is 0. And then last term product, so minus square root of 7 squared equals 0. Then square it, so you got x squared minus square root, square cancel is 7 equals 0. So this equation have the two solution, positive negative square root of 7. Now another example for the question 5. Write down the equation have the two solutions, positive negative square root of 3i. So solution are positive negative square root of 3i. Find the equation, quadratic equation have the two solutions. So you can write down as x minus square root of 3i and the x minus negative square root of 3i equals 0. This equation, quadratic equation, have a positive square root of 3i and the negative square root of 3i as the solutions. Then we have to figure out, so this is x minus square root of 3i times x negative plus square root of 3i equals 0. Then you can use FOIL, or you can use the formula, a plus b quantity times a plus b equals a squared minus b squared. So first term square, x squared, minus second term is the square root of 3i squared equals 0. Now we square it, so we got is x squared minus square root of 3 squared, cancel square root is 3, and I squared equal 1. And equals 0. And since I squared equal negative 1, I squared equal negative 1, because we define I as the square root of negative 1, then you square both sides. So you got I squared equal square root, square cancel each other, equal negative 1. So I squared equal negative 1, so you minus 3, I squared substitute by negative 1 equals 0. And then net become times it become plus 3 equals 0. So this is the equation, quadratic equation have the solutions, positive negative square root of 3i. Then next one is question 6. Find the x-intercept of the graph, of this graph. X-intercept, which is the graph intersect with the x-axis. Given a function, so I give example. This example, question 6 example is given g of x equal 9x squared plus 3x minus 36. This example, find out the x-intercept. X-intercept is a graph. This is a parabola. Degree 2 is a parabola graph. It's a parabola. And the intersect with x-axis at the 2 point on x-axis. The the point on the x-axis, the y-coordinate is 0. So this is x2. Y-coordinate is 0. So this g function, g of x, which is a function value, it's y. This is a y value. Y is g of x function value. So you let y equal 0, which is let this equal 0, which let this function value equal 0. So you will let 9x squared plus 3x minus 36 equals 0. Then you solve for the x. That is the x-intercept. X-intercept. So you look at this question, they have a common factor is 3. Common factor is 3. So you divide it by 3. So get 3x squared plus x minus 36 divided by 3 is 12 equals 0. Now try to factor it. If it can be factored, you do factoring. If it cannot be factored, you use quadratic formula. But if you don't know how to factor, you still can use quadratic formula to do. We'll get the answer. So like 3, you can factor as 3 times 1. And the negative 12, negative 12, you can factor as 1 times 12 or 2 times 6 or 3 times 4. And choose the two number closer to each other, like 3, 4, if I try this. And since it's negative, so 1 negative, 1 positive. Since it's negative, so I choose 1 negative, 1 positive. Then cross multiplication is negative 12. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Add 3, you got negative 9. So that is a positive 1. Positive 1. So it is not, because the external coefficient, it's 1. Oh, I copy question wrong. Should be 56, then we can factor it. So this is a 56. 56 can be factored. If a 56, then we cannot divide it by 3. We cannot divide it by 3 because 56 is not divisible by 3. So 9, you can, so we just factor 9. 9 we can factor is 3 times 3. The two numbers closer to each other. And the 56, you can factor as 1 times 56, 1 times 56, or 2 times 28, or 4 times 14, or 7 times 8. And 7, 8 is closer each other. So you can try 7 and 8. And then you need to put, because negative 56, so you need to put 1 positive, 1 negative. If I put this positive, this negative, tying together is negative 56. Cross multiplication, 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times negative 7 is negative 21. Combined is 3. 3 is this external coefficient is 3. So that's correct. Then you attach x, put the parentheses. So this question can be factored as 3x minus 7, 3x plus 8 equals 0. And you can check it. 3x times 3x is 9x squared. Outer term product. 3x times 8, 24x. Inner term product, negative 7 times 3x is negative 21x. Add together is 3x, which is the middle term, 3x. And the last term product, negative 7 times 8 is negative 56. So they are equivalent. So your factor is correct. Then you put either, use zero factor property, either 3x minus 7 equals 0, or 3x plus 8 equals 0. Then add 7 both sides. So 3x equals 7, or minus 8 both sides. So you got 3x equal negative 8. Then divided by 3 both sides. So you got solution. You got the x-intercept, 7 over 3, or x equals negative 8 over 3. So then you answer x-intercepts are the first point, x coordinate is 7 over 3, y coordinate 0. And the 2 x-intercept, negative 8 over 3, y coordinate is 0. The 2 points are x-intercepts. Then next one, it's question 6 again. Example. This example. Question 6 example. You h of x equal to 4x squared minus 4x plus 1. So find the x-intercept. So this is a y. Function value is y. You let y equal 0. So that means 4x squared minus 4x plus 1 equals 0. Now then you try to factor it. Now this factor, 4, you can put 2 times 2. 1, you can put 1 times 1. Then you cross multiplication. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. Add together is positive 4. But here, x term is negative 4. So you put negative 1. Negative 1 times together is positive 1. And cross multiplication. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Add together is negative 4. So this is the right way. So you put x, put the parentheses. So you got 2x minus 1 and times 2x minus 1. They are same factor, so put square equals 0. So then, then you let 2x minus 1. That means 2x minus 1 need to be 0. And square is 0. And solve for the x. So it's equal, move over 1 divided by 2. So then you answer x-intercept is x coordinate 1 over 2 and the y coordinate is 0. That's 1 point. Which is the graph is go this, touch the x-axis at 1 point. At this point, 1 over 2, 0. Only intercept with x-axis at 1 point. This question you can do by factoring like this. You also can do by formula, because 4x squared minus 4x plus 1 equals 0. 4x squared, you can put 2x squared. Quantity squared, 2 squared is 4x squared. Then you put minus 2 times a is 2x times b, it's 1. 2 times 2x times 1 is 4x. Add b squared. So that fit the completing square formula. Completing square formula is a squared minus 2ab plus b squared equals a minus b, quantity squared. This is a minus, you use minus formula, minus. So a is 2x, a is 2x, b is 1, b is 1. So a minus b, so become a is 2x, b is 1, quantity squared equals 0. It's the same as this one. Then you continue. So that's question 6. Then next one, question 7. Question 7, solve the following inequality. Solve for the inequality. Before question 6, we solve for the equation. And question 7, solve for the inequality. X squared minus 2x greater than or equal 15. Greater than or equal 15. Now let's give example for question 7. I use this. X squared minus 4x greater than or equal 21. X squared minus 4x greater than or equal 21 to do. This one, inequality. So first of all, also you have to make in all the term on the left side, and the right side it's a 0. So you minus 21 both sides. So you get x squared minus 4x minus 21 greater than or equal 0. Then factor it. So this is a leading coefficient 1. So you find two numbers tying together is negative 21. Add together is negative 4. So it's 7 times 3. 7 and 3. And add together negative 4. So negative 7, positive 3. Negative 7 times positive 3 is negative 21. Negative 7 add 3 is negative 4. You can check it. X times x, x squared. 3x, negative 7x combined is negative 4x. Negative 7 times 3 is negative 21. And then here want to be greater than 0. You can draw a line. And if it equals 0, x has to be 7 or negative 3. If it equals 0, x has to be, this equals 0, x is negative 3. X minus 7 equals 0, x should be 7. That's equals 0. Equals 0. And since the inequality has equal sign, so that's including equals 0. Including, so put the dot. Including negative 3 and 3. And you can choose the point to the right of 7, like 8. You plug in 7 minus 8 minus 7 is positive. Like 8 plus 3, also 11, also positive. Positive times positive is positive. So any number greater than 7, you plug it in. Minus 7 is positive, plus 3 also positive. Tying together is positive, greater than 0. So this is a solution. Greater than 7 is a solution. Make this inequality greater than 0. Any number between negative 3 and 7, like 0, you plug in. 0 minus 7 is a negative. 0 add 3 is a positive. Negative times positive is negative, is less than 0. So between negative 3 and 7, make less than 0. It's not the solution. Any number less than negative 3, like a negative 4. And the negative 4 minus 7 is negative 11, is negative. Negative 4 add 3, also negative. Negative times negative become positive, greater than 0. So this side is a positive. So positive, negative, positive. So you want greater than 0, so pick up the positive side. So your solution will be including negative 3 down to negative infinite, union with including 7 up to positive infinite. So that's interval notation for the solutions. Another example for question 7. Another example. It's 10x squared minus x greater than or equal 21. Now, first of all, we have to put all the term, minus 21, all the term to the one side. So minus 21, both sides, greater than or equal 0. And try to factor it, can be factored, we factor it. 10, you can factor as 2 times 5. And 21, negative 21, 1 negative 3, positive 7, if you try this. So then cross multiplication, 5 times negative 3 is a negative 15. And 2 times 7 is 14. Add together, it's a negative 1. And x term coefficient is negative 1. So this is right. So attach x and put the parentheses. So factor is 2x minus 3 and times 5x plus 7 greater than or equal 0. Then you solve it. If it equals 0, this equals 0, solution is a positive 3 over 2. If 5x plus 7 equals 0, solution is a negative 7 over 5. So put on the real number line. The negative number put on the left side, positive number, increasing order, positive number put on the right side. And the mark, including, there's equal sign, so including the 2 points. And you can mark positive, negative, positive, positive, negative, positive, always. Then solution will be greater than or equal 0. So solution will be positive side, which is the number like 3 over 2. It's 1 and 1/2. For example, like 2. 2 plug in. Or 2 times 2 minus 3. It's a positive 1. And 5 times 2. Add 7 is 7, positive 17. Tying together is greater than or equal 0. So on this side, we'll make positive times together is greater than or equal 0. So all the number on this side make true, greater than 0. All the number like this side, -7/2, like this is -1 and 2/5. So you can try -2, plug in. 2 times -2, -4, -3 is -7. And 5 times -2 is -10. Add 7. Add 7 is -3. Negative times negative become greater than or equal 0. So this side also solutions. Then you write down the solution is including -7/5 down to -infinite. Union with including, so put bracket 3/2 up to +infinite. It's the solutions. Another examples like this one, question 7, example, like 9x squared plus 6x greater than or equal -1. So also you have to add 1 both sides. So get 9x squared plus 6x plus 1 greater than or equal 0. And try to factor this. So this, you can use a completing square formula to factor it, or you can factor by 9 is 3 times 3, and 1 is 1 times 1, and cross times it, and get 3, add together is 6. Is this x term coefficient 6? So attach with x and put the parentheses. So your solution, you factor this, becomes 3x plus 1 times 3x plus 1. So that's square greater than or equal 0. And any number you plug into the x times by 3, add 1, is after square, become non-negative, become positive, greater than 0 or equal 0. So therefore, you can put any real number in x, substitute in x, times by 3, add 1. The result is 0 or a positive or negative. After square is going to be always positive, greater than 0, or the minimum is 0, but never negative. So this x can be, you can plug in all the real numbers. So the solution for this question is R, is all the real numbers. You can answer as R. You can answer as R, or all the real numbers. That's question 7. Then that's A. Then B, question 7b is question 7b example. Question 7b, this is the question. Now let's put example like this. It's x plus 5 over x less than 0. 7b example. So this one, first of all, x is x over 1 plus 5 over x less than 0. X put x over 1. So we, in order to add together, we find LCD. So this need to times by x. You can add together. So same denominator is x. Numerator is x squared plus 5 less than 0. Now since x squared plus 5 is going to be always what? Always positive. No matter what kind of number, x real number you plug in, x squared is always non-negative. Add 5 is going to be greater than or equal 5. At least 5, which is a positive. And denominator, numerator is always positive. Denominator need to be negative. Then divided. X need to be negative. Then divided. Positive divided by negative is less than 0, is negative. So you can use the rule. It's if both are positive, times together, it's a positive. If both are negative, you time together, also positive. If the two numbers have the same sign, then times together or divided same sign, divided or multiply, result is positive. If one positive, one negative, one positive, you time together, it's a negative. Or divided is a negative. Divided is a negative. Different sign, huh? Same sign, positive. Different sign, negative. If the two numbers have same sign, both are positive or both are negative, you times it or divide it, result always positive. Different sign, negative. If the two numbers are different sign, one positive or one negative, you times it or you divide it, the result is going to be negative. So same sign, positive, different, negative, different sign, negative. So like this one to be less than 0, which is negative. Less than 0 means negative. The two divided, want to be negative, less than 0 means negative. The numerator divided by denominator, want to be less than 0, result want to be negative, then numerator, denominator need to be different sign. They are different sign. So we already know x squared plus 5 is positive always. So therefore, denominator should be negative, less than 0. Then the 2 divided, that's the solution. The 2 divided will be less than 0. So you can use this way to do. 7b. Another example like this. 7b example. It's x plus 1 over x greater than 0. The previous one is less than 0. Now this example is greater than 0. So do the same way as x is x over 1 greater than 0. Then you add the two together. This need times by x both sides. Get same denominator. X numerator is x squared plus 1 greater than 0. Now, x squared, after square is a positive or 0. Never negative. Add 1, become positive, always positive. Any number x squared is greater than or equal 0, then you add 1 both sides. You get x squared plus 1 is greater than equal. 0 add 1, it's 1. It's going to be greater than 0. So x squared plus 1 is greater than 0. It's a positive. So for this, the numerator is a positive. And the divided by what is going to be positive. Greater than 0 means a positive. So only they have the same sign, divided. Same sign, both are positive, divided is positive, or both are negative, divided will be positive. So the two should be same sign. Since the numerator we already know is positive, so denominator need to be also positive. So then this answer is x is greater than 0. X greater than 0. Then next one, another examples like this. Question 7b example. It's x minus 4 over x greater than 0. This time is minus here. Solve for the x. So this one also x is x over 1 minus 4 over x greater than 0. Then here one find LCD, which is x. So you times x on both sides. So you got the same denominator is x, numerator is x squared minus 4 greater than 0. So then greater than 0 means this result is a positive. Greater than 0 means positive. That means numerator and denominator need to be same sign. Both are positive or both are negative. Divided or both are same sign. You divide it or is positive. Both are negative. You divide it also positive. It's the same as the same solution as tying together. Numerator times denominator, if both are same sign, tying together is a positive. And divided also multiply, tying together, both are negative, tying together also positive. So therefore, the two are same sign. So you tying together also positive. So you can write down x squared minus 4 times x also positive. But if you couldn't do this way, there's another way to do. Another way to do is you multiply by this by x squared, and this side times by x squared also. Then become what? Then become you do x squared minus 4 over x, you times by x squared. And then the other side is 0 times x squared. Since x squared is positive, so both sides times positive. So greater than, still greater than, don't change the sign. And now x with x squared cancel one x. So we will get x squared minus 4 times x greater than 0 times x squared is 0. So greater than 0. So we got this. So the two are equivalent, which is the same solution. So this one, x squared minus 4 over x, you times by x squared. On left, greater than 0 times on the right, also times by x squared. And 0 times x squared is 0. And since x squared is positive, so you times both sides by positive, greater than, still greater than. You do not change the inequality. Only times by negative, you have to change from greater than to less than. If positive, you times by positive, greater than, still greater than. Then here, x squared cancel with x, remain 1x. So you got this. This is equivalent to this. Divide. Divided is a positive. That means the numerator, denominator have the same sign. So which is both are positive or both are negative. So you time together also greater than 0, because positive times positive is greater than 0. Negative times negative also positive greater than 0. So then you factor x squared minus 4. You can factor is x minus 2, x plus 2, and times x greater than 0. Now, then you draw a real number line. When first of all, figure out equal 0. When x equal 0, equal x plus 2 equals 0, so x will be negative 2. X minus 2 equals 0, x will be 2. So this question, if I given the example, I put greater than or equal, greater than or equal, greater than or equal, greater than equal. I have an equal sign. Then the for equal 0 is going to be the 3 points. X equals 0, make tying together is 0. X equal 2, 2 minus 2 is 0. Tying together is 0. Negative 2, negative 2 add 2 is 0. This factor equals 0. So you let this equal 0, get 0. You let factor x plus 2 equals 0, x is negative 2. You let x minus 2 equals 0, x is 2. So is the 3 make equal 0. Make equal 0. Now, then you always mark positive, negative, always true. You can check like 3. 3 plug in, 3 minus 2 is 1, positive. 3 add 2 is 5, positive. And x is 3 is positive. Tying together, 3 positive times positive is positive. So, and any number like between 0 and 2, you can check like 1. Between 0 and 2. 1 minus 2 is a negative 1, negative. 1 minus 2 is 3, positive. And 1 put it in x. 1 is a positive. So negative times positive is negative. So between 0 and 2, we'll make this tying together less than 0. Between 0 and negative 2, like negative 1, you plug it in. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3, it's negative. Negative 1 add 2, which is a positive. And negative 1 put it in x, it's a negative. So you got, it's a negative times negative become positive, greater than 0. So between 0 and the negative 2 is a mark positive. less than -2, like -3. -2 is negative. -3 add 2, also negative. -3 put it in x is negative. Negative times negative times negative is less than 0. Is a negative. So mark negative sign. So here, this question you get greater than or equal 0. Greater than or equal 0. So then the solution means positive. So solution is a positive sign. This positive and this positive interval. Positive intervals. So your answer will be from -2, including -2 to 0, union with from 2 to this -2 to 0, including -2, and from 2, including 2, to positive infinite. But you have to be very careful because denominator is x. So the denominator cannot be 0. So here has a 0. If 0, you plug it into the denominator. 4 divided by 0 is undefined. So x is not the solution. X equals 0 is not the solution. So 0 is not the solution. So at this 0 is not the solution. So it's not including 0. So at 0, you have to put parentheses. Including -2, put bracket. And including 2, put bracket. But not including 0, use parentheses. Because 0 make denominator, original inequality, 4 over 0, denominator equals 0, undefined. Next one, question 8. Question 8 is going to draw the graph. I'm going to talk about one simple example first. Example, it's question 8. Example, it's draw the graph for the function h of quadratic function h of x. This is the example. X squared plus 2x minus 3. Draw this graph. A ask you how. So I'm going to talk about the general form. Put it in general. If given a function, formula, if given f of x equal ax squared plus bx plus c. General form. If a is a positive, open upward. Parabola, open upward. If leading coefficient, this is we call leading coefficient. Leading coefficient. A is a negative, open downward. Open downward. So, and then, second one, we find out the vertex. Vertex, x coordinate is negative b over 2a. Y coordinate is if given function, here formula given f of x. So y coordinate is f of negative b over 2a. Now what's that means? I will talk about later. Vertex is this one. The two are vertex. This is B, vertex. C is axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry is x equal negative b over 2a. The same as this one, negative b over 2a. Axis of symmetry. D, x-intercept. X-intercept, you let function value y equals 0. Solve for the x. So like this is f of x general form. This is y. Let y equals 0. So this quadratic function, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. and then you let this equal 0, then you solve for x. That's x-intercept. So if this quadratic equation can be factored, you do by factoring. If cannot be factored, you can use quadratic formula. If even you don't know how to do the factoring, you just plug into the formula. Now you will get x-intercept. And y-intercept. Y-intercept is let x equal 0. Get y-intercept. So y equals ax squared plus bx plus c for this f of x. So x use 0, plug in. So y equal f of x is 0, plug in. So a times 0 squared plus b times 0 plus c. So you got 0 plus 0 plus c. So c is, so y-intercept is x-coordinate when x-coordinate is 0. And y-coordinate is c. That's y-intercept. That's y-intercept. And then we draw the graph and the label all the above you got. So let's try examples here. So question 8, examples. Given a function is we call h of x equals x squared plus 2x minus 3. Given this quadratic function, draw the graph. Draw the graph. First of all, this leading coefficient is 1. Leading coefficient is 1. 1 is positive. So the graph is this way. Open, upward. That's A. Open, upward. So this is open, upward. Second one, find the vertex. Vertex formula, x-coordinate is net b over 2a. Net b. B is 2. A is 1. B is 2. C is net 3. Plug in. So net b is 2. 2 times a. A is 1. So you got, it's net 1. You got net 1. That's x-coordinate for vertex. Y-coordinate, you plug into original function. X substitute by net 1. Get h of net 1. Net 1 put it in x. Get net 1. Net 1 square plus 2 times net 1 minus 3. Net 1 square is 1. Minus 2 minus 3 is net 4. So you say vertex is x-coordinate is net 1, y-coordinate is net 4. This is a vertex. Then axis of symmetry, C. Axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry is x equal net b over 2a. So it's a formula. That's the formula. So is for this one, net b over 2a is net 1. So axis of symmetry is x equal net 1. It's the same as x-coordinate of vertex, x equal net 1. And the D, x-intercept. X-intercept is you let y equal 0, solve for x. So you let this y equal x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0, which is that x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0. Original function. Y equal x squared plus 2x minus 3. You let this y equal 0. Solve for the x. Is x-intercepts. So solve this. So this one we can factor. We can factor as x equals 0. We net 3. You can put 3 times net 1 because time together is net 3. Add together is positive 2. Then either x plus 3 equals 0 or x minus 1 equals 0. Solve for the x. You get x equal -3 or x equal 1. Then you will answer what is the x-intercept. So the x-intercepts are x is -3, y is 0, y coordinate is 0, and the other points, x coordinate is 1, y coordinate is 0, because we let y equal 0, get x. So x coordinate -3, y coordinate 0. That's x-intercepts. Then we go y-intercept. E, find out y-intercept. Y-intercept is you let x equal 0 and find the y. So y equals h of 0. X is 0, plug it in. So you got is 0 squared plus 2 times 0 minus 3. So it's 0 add 0 minus 3. So it's -3. So y-intercept is when x is 0, y is -3.